Ports of games that were downgraded to the monochrome limitations of the Game Boy were very hit and miss. Some, like say Battletoads, worked really well. Others, such as Pac-Man, really didn't. Often it was more sensible for developers to take beloved characters, maybe storylines and settings, and create a different game altogether. We saw how this can work with Gargoyle's Quest, for example. Burai Fighter Deluxe is one of those sadly uncommon examples where an NES title is shrunk down to 160 by 144 pixels and is just as damn good. The game is, aside from the colour obviously, very similar to the original in image, sound, and most importantly, playability. They did a very good job porting this to this level, which is a relief because Burai Fighter was an excellent NES game and it would have been a shame to mess it up. It's a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up that also occasionally moves vertically and backtracks. You control not a ship, but a fighter in a mech suit, not dissimilar to Samus Aran or the guy from Turrican, who can shoot in 8 directions with a multitude of weapons. The controls are actually really clever once you get used to them. You aim using the D-pad and fire using B, but by holding down the B button you lock in that direction, meaning you can shoot in any direction while moving around independently. And this is necessary as the screen scrolls in all sorts of directions, and enemies can hide in crevices that would be unreachable if you couldn't shoot diagonally, for example. As you move around, not all of the course is visible at any one time. Moving to the extremities and hugging walls — you don't die if you touch walls, thankfully — can often trigger the scrolling to take an alternative path, with nice hidden power-ups like extra lives and damaging orbitals. Bear in mind, however, that the scrolling doesn't stop if you drift down a dead end, you'll just get crushed. There are 5 stages which progress nicely. Each one is between 5 and 10 minutes long, with increasing difficulty and some pretty tricky bosses. Like many tough 8-bit shooters, it's a one-hit kill, but this just makes you get good quicker, and I personally wouldn't change this. The game never feels cheap or unfair, and the controls are really responsive, making dodging accurate. There are 3 skill levels. Complete the hard one, and you unlock a super hard one, but there's not a great deal of difference. The easy mode is still pretty hard. You won't beat this one straight away. Extra lives are plentiful though, you can rack up 3 or 4 on the first stage. The 3 weapons are well varied. You can power up each one 10 times by collecting tokens, and they have separate collections, meaning if you die, you only lose the power-ups of the weapon that was equipped when you died. The other 2 remain at the level you've collected, so it's not as if you're completely stranded with nothing. There are rings, which can pass through obstacles and when maxed out fire a deadly spread shot. There are missiles, which you really do need to level up to become useful, as the bullets are pretty small, making it hard to hit things. Finally, there is a laser weapon, which fires in a cross pattern when at full power. All of the weapons have their places in the game where they're most useful. The bosses look pretty great, and like all other enemies are faithful to the NES game. The final boss, the dragon from the front cover, is a slight letdown though, as its attacks are pretty avoidable and really don't vary. It's a complete bullet sponge too, but when you kill it, it's very satisfying. The music is exactly how you'd hope. The excellent soundtrack by Norio Nakagata has been delightfully transposed to the Game Boy, and its sound chip does a brilliant job recreating it. The accompanying sound effects fit the atmosphere wonderfully. I've played Burai Fighter Deluxe a lot in my time, so much so that it's one of the few games I can recall beating on the hardest difficulty. It's worth persevering to do, if for nothing else than to see the chicken that comes out telling you, "You have earned my respect." Mad, but marvellous.